Welcome to the Panthers postgame show. We are having a great time in the studio because the Panthers came in and beat the Rams at home 31-28. Kristen Balboni, Thomas Davis, Jonathan Stewart. TD, I want to start with you. What kind of statement did the Panthers make yesterday?
A very strong one. We made a very strong statement to the NFL, and I think a lot of people coming into this game thought that the Panthers was just going to lay down. They don't understand that this team is very resilient, and all season long, when things have not gone well, we figured out a way to bounce back and bounce back in a strong way. People were crowning the Rams, and I was one of those people that thought that the Rams were a team that were primed to really take off and, outside of the Panthers, represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. But we went out and we put a game plan together and we executed it for 4 quarters as an entire football team. And it took the entire unit to win that game yesterday.
Stu?
To that point, I mean, Carolina Panthers are a real deal. I mean, they win big games. They knocked out 2 number 1 opponents, you know, and it's a testament to the system, right? It's a testament to Dave Canales and coaching staff, having these guys prepared. You know, yesterday we saw Bryce Young and Dave Canales grow together. We saw it, we felt it, we believed it. The way they, you know, capitalized on turnovers, the defense being opportunistic. You know, this is the first time we actually really saw, you know, the yin and yang, right? Complementary football at its finest in Carolina Panthers.
All right, well, let's relive all of the highlights, all of the good stuff that happened in that game yesterday. We're going to take you right back to Bank of America Stadium. It was cold. It was rainy. Panthers win the coin toss, but Rams get down the field early thanks to this Ronnie Rivers 46-yard
Not a good way to start the football
kick
game.
return, no, and then we have the Thomas Nkoum penalty for another 15 yards.
Smarter than that.
And that
Your name is Thomas. You can't make dumb penalties like that. I'm just saying.
How about this play, TD?
Listen, this play shows me that Mike Jack was expecting some help from the inside. He was heavy outside. Matthew Stafford just has some crazy arm talent.
But then the Panthers come right back and respond. Chuba Hubbard getting the call right there. And guys, I was standing right there, and you can tell just how much that meant to him. He was starting to feel himself right there.
Yeah, for sure.
This is an opportunity for, you know, him to showcase who he is. We know who he is. And obviously, when you have injuries, one thing you got to know about these players, they want to be 100%. And he coming back early after he did sit out a game early in this season, he wasn't himself, and I think he finally felt himself this game.
Stu, you talked about unselfish football on that last play. The receivers on the outside blocking was a huge component to that touchdown, too.
Yeah, exactly.
But also unselfish, Derrick Brown getting his hands up. Once you can't get to the quarterback, they had 2 guys on DB. You got to get your hands up, and he helped Nick Scott get that interception.
Oh, yeah. Derrick Brown made some plays. He made plays all throughout the whole game.
Stu, I can't cut you off. I got to give some love to my guy, Mike Jack. I've been giving Mike Jack a hard time all season long about his inability to score after he catch the football. But, Mike Jack, I stand corrected. You do love nice things. You do enjoy the finer things in life like touchdowns. So hats off to Mike Jack, man.
Shout out to Nick Scorton for, you know,
extra effort, man. Unselfish play.
Making Stafford pay for, you know, throwing that interception.
Yep, but then the Rams make the Panthers pay right here. Another Davante Adams touchdown. Guys, I mean, they tie it up right here, and it was just back and forth between these 2 teams.
Man, 2 old guys still getting it done. Davante Adams and Matthew Stafford, man, they're in sync right now.
Well, how about a young guy getting it done right here? Bryce Young making something happen with his legs, 24 yards on that scramble.
Every time I see Bryce running the football, Stu, I think Alabama Bryce, man. It's like seeing him out on the edge. It seems like that's where he's comfortable at. When you see that kid smiling like that, they usually mean good things for the Panthers offense.
It sure does.
Oh, 23 personnel. I love to see it.
Yeah.
Gotta have it. You line up, you know what we're doing, running the ball, try to stop us.
Fourth and one right there. We know
the Rams had a lot of bodies in that middle, and that was a great play call by Coach Canales.
Great play call.
Ryan Fitzgerald, 33-yard field goal. That drive lasted 12 plays, 70 yards, 7 minutes. However, though, Matthew Stafford doing what he does right here, 51 yards to Xavier Smith.
It's a breakdown in coverage. You know, Mike Jack, you know, trying to make a play. They put the bait in front of him. He took the bait. As the deep third corner, you got to stay as deep as the deepest, and you know he bit up, and they capitalized on that.
That led to the go-ahead touchdown right there Blake Corum, 2-yard run. We come back out of the half, though. Jalen Coker, 3rd down conversion right there. And, guys, he had a day.
Man, the Coke heads are very happy right now.
His mom said, don't call him that. Don't call the fans that
Well, sorry,
anymore.
It's a great name.
Yeah, it really is.
Now, this is a dart, Stu.
Yes.
4th and 3. I mean, look at Bryce right there. He's fired up, and as he should be, right back to Jalen Coker.
This is a straight dime, and it's a dime because he didn't look off the safety. He didn't need no help. He knew exactly where he was going with that ball, and it was going to Coker.
But then how about this catch right here? I mean, it's making all the highlight shows. Puka Nacua,
that
one-handed.
unbelievable catch. But listen, you got to hit that panic button right there, Mike Jack. As soon as you realize your hand is on it, his is on it, and you can't catch it, it got to be a swipe.
Like you're swiping at the store.
Swiper, no swiping.
Dora. I love it. So that led to a Kyron Williams touchdown right there. Score is 28-24 in favor of the Rams. But guys, I mean, look at this next drive
KB.
for the Panthers right here.
The resiliency of this football team.
4th and 2, as they do, just a cool Tetairoa McMillan touchdown right here.
4th down, Bryce Young, man. That's what we're going to start calling.
Ice in his veins, but again, the play action here, because you've been running the ball all game, you have to honor any type of play action, which brings everybody up to the ball.
Not only that, though, Stu, the job of the offensive line to give him that kind of time against this Rams defensive line. I mean, it was phenomenal yesterday.
Yep, and then the next drive right here, look at
Brown.
that. That is what they needed right there.
Big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games, and that's what this was. Derrick Brown being the guy that he is, off of that injury, coming back and making huge play after huge play for us.
Yeah, DJ Wanham recovers right there. Really puts the Panthers in a great
Put
situation.
the ball away, DJ!
But then this right here ices the game. Another big play on 3rd or 4th down. That's
To who,
3rd
Stu?
and 5.
Jalen Coker.
That's right.
Jalen Coker all day. If it's 3rd down, he's going to make you pay.
And that is, I like that right there.
I love it.
But Stu, as you pointed out to us, it was really all about the run game. You look at the difference between last week and this week with Dave Canales saying, look, I got to make sure that we run the ball more. And run the ball, they did 35 times for 141 yards. And they got both guys involved.
Yeah, you know, this is what happens when you commit to the culture. The culture is run the ball, protect the ball, and play defense, and be great on special teams. And this is what you get. You get a result where you control the game. The defense gives you the ball, and then you protect the defense by staying on the field. We did exactly that yesterday, and we ended up being winners.
How many turnovers did we have on offense?
0.
How many takeaways did we have
3
on defense? That's the formula to winning football games. Whenever you take the football away and you get extra possessions to the offense, we've been saying it all season long, but when you're also able to protect the football, in particular in a wet, rainy game, which is a lot easier for us as defenders to knock the ball out and take the football away. Whenever you're able to take care of the football, you increase your chances of winning football games, man, and that's what this team was able to do. You see the tough yardage being grinded out by Chuba Hubbard, and what that does, it allows the Rams offense to stay over on the sideline, which we talked about going into this game, KB, how important that was,
Some
and
of the
we got
best
it
defense.
done.
Yeah, some of the best defense is keeping them off the field. Stu, you talked about this just a little bit ago, but Chuba Hubbard seems like he is back to being himself, back to being healthy. And he seems like one of those guys that just starts to, when you get him going, right? It really, I mean, then you get him going.
It's like an avalanche, right? You know, you start off a little small, get him a little, you know, give him baby steps and whatnot. And then once he gets rolling, it's hard to stop him, you know? And especially in a game like this where it is a ground and pound game, you understand that he understands the assignment. He woke up that morning with violence on his mind. And that's the way he ran, especially that 3rd quarter where we were able to milk the clock for so long. It was a huge part of that was through the success of Chuba Hubbard.
And then because the run game was so successful, we saw those incredible plays on 3rd and 4th down, what the Panthers have been known for all season long. But guys, I want to read these numbers to you, all right? Bryce passing on 3rd and 4th down, 80% completion, 162 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 158.3 rating. I had to ask our producer, Steven, I said he had 162 yards on 3rd and 4th down, and I was watching the game. That's absolutely incredible right there.
Yeah, I mean, Bryce Young and Dave Canales, again, like I said earlier, the growth in these two, and more so the brain, it's like they're on the same brain wave, right? And when you have that, you start to become a little bit unstoppable. And that's what it felt like on fourth down. You know, we're basically playing all downs. You have to stop us. And that's a hard task to do if you're a defense and you're going against that type of mentality in the Carolina Panthers. And what that has to do for the defense, you know, oh, y'all gonna go for on fourth down, y'all gonna give us some rest? Oh, please, we are for that. Please do that. But you have to be able to connect. You have to have the players to actually rise to the occasion and make those types of plays. And we have young talent that's going to be able to do it for a long time.
TD, we talked about how great this Rams defense is and all of the weapons that they have. How demoralizing is it for this Rams D to, like Stu said, go for it, connect on third down, and when they don't, they're going to go for it on fourth down?
It's very demoralizing because you go into a game and you've kind of established, you know, yourself as a dominant defense. In particular, you know, you're only as good as your last game. In their last game, they had a dominant performance, speaking of the Rams defense. But for them to be able to come into this environment and see a team that just had a tough loss on Monday Night Football on a short week, for this team to bounce back and challenge the Rams in ways that I feel like they haven't been challenged all season.
Yeah.
They haven't really had a team that has been willing to stay on the field on fourth down consistently in those situations because of that D-line. That defensive line has gotten after people time and time again, but our offensive line, they held up. They held up in a big way. They gave Bryce an opportunity to see down the field, to read the field, and connect with his receivers. And that's why you were able to see so many of those great throws on third and fourth down and 162 yards. And like to set a record for us with 158 passer rating, I think that really speaks to, you know, what the offensive line was able to do, but the level of confidence that Bryce Young has in himself after having a tough game.
And talking about the level of confidence in Bryce Young, you said it, Stu, he and Canales are on the same page. Here is what Dave Canales had to say about trusting his quarterback in those high-pressure situations.
I always feel confident with Bryce in those situations, and you know, the bigger the stakes, the higher the moments. You know, he stays the same in terms of his execution, and it allows me to just call the best thing for that area. But again, it's the balance of the run game, you know, and being able to give us those type of opportunities.
Okay, so we're going to break down the magic moment in this game. 4th and 2, in a pivotal point in the game where we needed a touchdown. We needed a conversion, first of all, but we ended up getting a touchdown because brilliant play calling and brilliant execution. So here
You
we
might as
go.
well just say Brilliant Bryce.
Brilliant Bryce.
I love it.
I love Brilliant Bryce.
It worked.
Is that his new name?
That's his name.
BB?
When he make plays like this, he's Brilliant Bryce.
Brilliant Bryce.
Ooh.
BB. All right, so let's break this down here. We have play action because we've been running the ball all game, right?
That's how you set it up.
That's how you set it up. And what does it do when we have a play action
Literally,
to these linebackers?
everybody, first step right now. First thing this guy does, steps forward. And now what that does, it allows the receivers to get a step.
Yep.
Allows him to get a step on him, allows him to get a step on him.
Bringing the linebackers up, it gives the receivers the ability to find space.
And you can see it right now. It allows them to get behind them. Like both of our guys right now are behind their defenders.
Yep. So we have 2 deep crossing routes, right? You have McMillan starting off on the top, and he's making his way across the field. You have Xavier Legette starting here off the bottom, and he's making himself to the numbers on this side. And so what they're trying to do is they're trying to create a rub with the defense, right? They're trying to get these guys to collide against each other with the deep crossing routes. And what Bryce does a good job of in this beautiful pocket, by the way, look at this. I can throw a route in that, right? And so what BB does here is he goes through his progression. His first progression, I'll show you. Boom. First progression, he got out a little late because Zero held him up. He's looking at Sanders here in the flat. Second read, he's looking for Xavier Legette as they're coming off onto this crossing route. And so what you see here, TD, you see this safety back there, safety help, commit to this side.
He has to. And the reason why he has to, Stu, is because way back in the beginning of this play, there was some indecision by this guy right here. Mm-hmm. Once there was indecision, Cam Newton has said this a bunch, and I've been watching his show. If they're even, they're leaving. So that's what's happening on this play. Him and Leggett ended up being even because he had to pause for the play action, and now he's getting outflanked, he's getting outran, which causes some panic from this safety in the middle of the field, and now he has to jump down to help with Xavier Leggett, who he think that Bryce is going to, but that leaves Emmanuel Forbes one-on-one with our quote-unquote best receiver, and we talked about it. If he's even, let's show him what happens.
They leaving, okay? You can't guard that.
He's leaving, man.
You can't guard
T-Mac,
that.
probably his only catch, but one of the biggest catches of the game, and all of this is created and started because of this pocket. Look at what Bryce Young has right now. Stu, you talked about it. You said that you could throw the ball from this. I seen you throw. I don't know if you could have made this throw, no matter where you at on the field.
I couldn't make this throw. My shoulder's like concrete.
I understood the point you were making with Bryce having this amount of time against this Rams defense is unheard of. Hats off to the offensive line for the phenomenal job that they did in this game, in particular on this play to allow the deeper developing routes to take place. And for Bryce to be able to sit in the pocket and make a throw like this, it was truly amazing. Let it play out so we can watch it. Mm-hmm. And that's how T-Mac ended up scoring this huge touchdown. Bryce did a phenomenal job, man.
And again, none of this happens without this offensive line blocking, but kudos to Dave Canales drawing up the running play so that way this can be honored in a pivotal moment in the game.
That was a great job. That was truly one of the biggest plays of the game yesterday.
Mm-hmm. 3rd down and 9. 2:34 on the game clock. Stafford shotgun snap. 4-man rush. They're bringing pressure. Eric Brown strips the ball. No. Picked up by Carolina. DJ Wadham recovers the fumble. Takes it to midfield. There's Derek Brown making the play of the game.
Huge play by Derek Brown and DJ Wadham right there to really ice the game, put the Panthers in position to win it. That was just one instance of this defense being opportunistic, TD, against a Rams team that does not allow for a lot of those opportunities.
Matthew Stafford had not turned the ball over very many times, in particular throwing interceptions, KB, and we were able to take the ball away from him twice. But also, when you look at this Rams team, overall, they've been very efficient on offense. And when you allow a team to get into the red zone and you hold them to a field goal or take the ball away, that is very demoralizing to an offense, Stu, and you can attest to that. But at the end of the day, this defense did exactly what needed to be done. Derek Brown was a tone setter in the middle, and, you know, our DBs caught the balls that needed to be caught or that came to them. So that was the difference in this game, Stu.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you see Mike Jack take a pick to the house on a speed out, right? That's called film study. Because I mean, when it doesn't matter who lines up in the position, you're basically learning concepts as you're going throughout your week. This was a concept that he obviously saw out the gate, and he just ran the route for Puka, and he was right there for the interception. And you saw this type of play throughout the entire game, such as Derek Brown knowing the down and distance, knowing what they were trying to achieve. You know, I'm held here at the point of contact with this offensive lineman trying to block me. I'm just throwing my hands up, right? Mm-hmm. I know where he's trying to go with the ball. I'm going to throw my hands up, and I'm going to try to get a piece of it so that way, the ball can be whoever's. But we saw this type of play throughout the whole entire game. And whenever we can get the quarterback off the dot just like that, it makes it an easier game for the Carolina Panthers in offense.
It's so interesting what you saw with that Mike Jack pick, because Dave Canales told us on the huddle, he said, look, the only way you're going to stop a guy like Puka Nacua in this Rams offense is to study, right? And to know what happens when they get into those passing situations, know the concepts, and clearly that paid off right there for this defense. So, I mean, guys, for them to be able to do that was just so impressive. But TD, they needed those turnovers right now because the Panthers defense did allow chunk plays. We saw that in this game. You know, they did not shut down this Rams offense entirely. And if you look, 30 plays allowed of 30-plus yards this season, which is most in the NFL. So what do you make of that?
You know, I just really feel like this is a bend but don't break style defense. You know, we are still a young bunch, that guys that are really learning how to play NFL football, guys that are really getting into the groove and understanding how things need to be done in the NFL. And I'd rather that happen early in the season before our bye, and now we get the chance to go watch film, correct some of those mistakes, because that's what you spend time on during your bye week, is really figuring out some of the things that hasn't gone well and why they didn't go well, and now you correct those things. And this bunch, man, I'm very, very excited about this group, because when you go into a game without J.C. Horn, without Trayvon Merrick, and and Roseboom, and then you go into a game and you're able to come away with a victory with a lot of young guys getting an opportunity to play, that just tells me that we've done a great job of constructing this roster, and we got guys that can come in and play some really high-quality football, KB.
Stu, it's such a great point there about those big-name guys being out. As you said, no Trayvon Merrick, no J.C. Horn, no Christian Roseboom, some of the leaders and highest performers on that defense. I don't think many people, especially in the national media, had the Panthers defense coming out and doing what they do against that Rams offense.
Well, this speaks to your depth, right? You know, for the longest time, we've been struggling with that word, depth. You know, we have great players that start the game, but what happens when injuries do come along, especially during this point in the season? Injuries are going to happen. You got to have guys that are capable of stepping up into these positions, into these roles, and not just be the rookie, not just be the young guy. There's no such thing as being a young guy or a rookie in the locker room.
After 4 games.
You are a professional football player. You are expected to go out there and perform. And if you're not going to be here. And so we finally got guys that are in this room that can step up and make plays, make big plays. Your best players on that field that day have to make more plays than their best players.
We got pros now.
Yeah. Finally
That's
got
the
pros.
difference.
Yeah.
And I love
Finally
the
got
smile
pros.
between you guys. That's two legends smiling at each other. You know it's a good day. You talked about making these plays, and it's not just the plays, but it's the way in which they made them. Some guys really playing unselfish, Stu. I know that you pointed out a few to us, and we're going to talk about them right now. What did you see from some of these guys?
You know, just guys that, you know, we talk about selfish play, right? And we talk about unselfish. But really it's discipline, right? We want to be disciplined players. We got to do our job. Don't do too much. Sometimes, the play is called, just do your job. If your job is to block. Get a hand on the guy. Don't just whiff. Don't just say, I was there, I almost kind of got it. But actually make the actual attempt, not just being there. You got to actually put in the work and be in position to make these plays, because these plays are ones that spring guys loose. You saw there on, Chuba Hubbard's touchdown, right? Xavier Legette makes a block. And that was the block that springs him loose. Because without him making that block, it's a 5-yard game. It's a positive game, but it's not a touchdown. This is explosive plays that we all want to see in these types of games, in these types of moments. And it's players like Xavier Legette making blocks downfield, unselfish from his perspective, because he is a receiver, right? A lot of receivers don't want to block. But we got guys on this team that are football players first.
It's guys committed to winning the individual battles you see on this play right here, Stu. And who is this in the middle? It's like Coker, Legette, and Sanders all get a hat on the hat, and you win those individual battles. And that's, like you talked about, Stu, that's when a play goes from being a 5-10-yard game to being a long touchdown pass or run. So I think that's very important for these guys, not only to go out and do, but to be able to go back and watch and see, if you do it this way and you do it consistently, these are the things that can happen for us as a football team.
Defensively, one play that you guys also wanted to point out, Lathan Ransom had himself a day in his first start, but there was also some unselfish play right here by Chris Barnes to set up that sack.
Yeah, me and Thomas, TD talked about this play before. And Barnes this is a concept where they're making the running back choose, right?
Yeah.
Either way, someone's going to be wrong, and it's going to be the quarterback at this point. And so, you know, Barnes does a good job staying in his lane, not trying to avoid, but taking the running back straight on, so that way he's not in the path of Lathan Ransom coming on head-on with a head-on collision with the quarterback. That is a huge play. It's demoralizing for a guy like Stafford, who's, you know, he's an older quarterback. He ain't trying to be out there getting hit. In his mind, like, just do your job so that way I can deliver the pill. And Lathan Ransom had a day. Okay,
Was that the Joker celebration?
Yeah,
Sorry, did we see the little Joker smile? I like
we saw
it.
the Joker. Why so serious?
Yeah.
Right?
That was good.
But I mean, that to me we haven't seen that type of play in so long on both sides of the ball, where guys are just doing their job, being pros.
Because you call the same play and you have a guy that might jump outside trying to win, and then now you allow the running back to block two guys on one play because you're being selfish. Stay inside. If he contacts you, you take him. Outside guy come free. If the outside guy shows up early, the running backs take him, then the inside guy comes free. It basically makes it almost impossible. That was one of my favorite blitzes I just talked to Stu about before the game. Before.
That'd be great if you
feel like
saw
we're
it
in the
before the
game
game.
again. But before, you know, the show on, that was one of my favorite blitzes that we used to run, because it made it difficult on the running back, because he couldn't be right. We made it impossible for him to be right. And we used to come away. It was called two the back, two through the B on the back, and it was whatever side the back was on, and he couldn't be right.
Yeah.
And sometimes as the game went on, I used to cheat a little bit though. I would let the outside guy take off first, so that he would get blocked, so that I could come free and get the sack.
Little hesitation.
You know what I'm saying?
Maybe that's the next step for this Panthers
Once
team,
they start to
right?
learn.
Because as a running back, you're taught to block inside out. That's what because he knows that the running back's
That's gonna be
supposed
the
to
first
attack
read.
inside. And so he's like, all right, well, I want the DB to go in first so I can slide out so I can get the sack. But you can do that if you have the experience, right? Again, this is Barnes and Lathan Ransom. They are playing in games, meaningful football games in November for the first time. Okay, so these are young guys that eventually will learn the trick that TD just explained as far as how you get a sack.
They're on the right path. They're on the right path. And as you guys said, this team is coming together, playing unselfishly, playing disciplined, and it is coming at the right time. We're going to take a look at where they stand. As you said, 7-6. We are in December now. Bucks won yesterday as well, but guys, Panthers are right there. Right there as we go into the month of December.
Man. And I can't help but, you know, look at this schedule and think about, man, the possibilities, right? Like when you look at that game last week on Monday night and just being efficient, because it's certain games to me that I just felt like we without a doubt should have won, and what it could have done for us. But at the end of the day, this is where we are. We're in a great position. We control our own destiny. And that's where you want to be after 13 games in a season. You want to be in a position where you don't have to rely on somebody else to handle your business. You're still able to do the work, and that's what I love for this team. You know, they found ways to win games when they had and needed to win them.
Although we will be Saints fans this week.
Yeah.
As they play the Buccaneers.
That's right.
No question.
That's right.
So,
yep.
I
Half
don't
game
know
back
about
right
that.
now.
I don't know if I ever be a Saints fan.
No,
I know what you
for the
mean.
win.
I know what the meaning is. I hope both of them lose.
That is always the hope when two NFC
You know what I'm
South.
saying?
It's always the hope when two NFC South teams play each other. We got the Saints as the next game, but guys, finally the bye week for this team. No matter how young these guys are, they got to be hurting right
Their
now.
body needs some rest, and we need to get some bodies back, KB. So that's one of the things that I'm looking forward to.
But this comes at a very crucial time. You know, you talk about making a playoff push. You're talking about meaningful games in December.
Yeah.
Even more meaningful when you win a game against the Rams like you just did. The confidence that you go into this week, now you're going to be able to watch film on the things that worked. Hey, you can run the ball 40 times a game and come out victorious against one of the best teams in the NFC.
I did not want to be sitting right here at this point in the season at 6-7, So,
I see what you did there.
Just,
He got it
You
in.
want to be
He got
7
it.
and
Yep.
6. 7 and 6.
There you
That's
go. That's the new one right there, 7 and 6 when it comes to the Panthers. All right. We always ask you guys your takes on the Monday Night Football game. I think we have a record of the standings right now. TD has made a run right here. What you guys were in the bottom behind our road game analyst, but now TD, you are right at 500.
Stu got them Jesus numbers down there. 333.
333.
Three,
Yes,
three.
I'm sanctified.
That's why he was doing it. That's why he was doing it. Stu likes to always, you like to take the underdog sometimes. So will you be doing that tonight, 2-10 Giants?
Oh, he did.
I am.
Okay.
He already did.
All right.
I'm going with Jameis Winston and company.
You know, Stu is a homer. That's his. He wore those colors.
I know he
at
did.
one point in his life.
I wore him
KB,
just a
so
couple times.
Yeah. Then he came back.
They always said that you
Yeah.
should not always go with your heart, though, Stu.
Ain't no heart in this. This is Jameis Winston.
Ain't no love.
Jameis
right,
Winston about to have a career game.
Yeah, a career interception game. That's what kind of game James is gonna have. I love James. James is a great dude, man.
Yeah.
But this Patriots defense has been playing really well.
Yeah.
They've been
And
playing good, but I think Jameis Winston is the right energy for that locker room. Their defense is also playing pretty good. And so you put that in pairing with a good energy on offense, I think you can expect some things that are unexpected.
You can expect a lot of interceptions. That's what you can
One
expect.
way or another, we're going to hear about it in the group chat, right?
Yes, you will.
Yes, we are. All right, guys, this was great. It was great to be talking about this big win with you here today. Thank you all for watching the Panthers postgame show. We'll be back with you on the Avenue on Wednesday. TD and I will see you a little bit later in the week on the Huddle. Hope you guys have a great Monday. We'll see you next time.